Hello and welcome to yet another session with Sahapedia. Today we have amongst us a Kathak exponent, Prerna Deshpande. Prerna Tai started learning Kathak under Guru Sharadini Gode at the age of 7 years and later on under the tutelage of Pandita Rohini Bhatte. She is known for her command over Tal, Lay and graceful movements. Founder of Nritya Dham, she has trained and inspired professional level artists. She is a recipient of prestigious awards like Singarmani, Devdasi National Award, Gaurav Puraskar, to name a few. She has collaborated with musicians like Pandit Hemant Premse and dancers like Sujata Mohapatra for producing exquisite work and has also premiered Space Talmala, an artistic work based on compositions of Pandit Mohan Rao Kalyanpurkar. Welcome, Prerna Tai. It is a pleasure to have this talk with you.
Thank
Uh,
you.
Like, can we start from your childhood? Like, how you got into dance, what inspired you to take up dance as a career? So, how did the journey start?
Sure. I think my Kathak journey started at the age of 7 when I started learning from Sharadin time. But if you'll say about dance, I think it was very natural to me because my mother used to tell me that when I was in junior KG, or that time it was Balwadi, Ranadi Balak Mandir. So I used to dance on any kind of music or even the school band, or I used to draw any kind of drawing like pencil or rangoli, anything. So I think dance and art connection was very natural to me. That's why my mother observed that I'm dancing all the time. So she thought that this her energy should be channelized in some proper way in classical. If she her main criteria was the class should be nearby, close to her house. So luckily that was Sharathai's class, and then I started learning from Sharathai. Kathak journey started from there. But I think if not Kathak, if it would have been any other dance form, whether it's a Bharatanatyam, Odissi, or even a Western, definitely I would have gone in the same way because once dance and music is my passion, and creativity, some kind of creativity, that was my necessity and passion, and I followed my passion and soul actually. So that's how my dance journey started from Sharath's class, Sharadini Goyalji, senior most disciple of Guru Rohini Patilji. And I really loved that atmosphere because I think in that class, under Sharathai's training, I learned how to love dance. So that was really beautiful period of my life. And actually, serious dance means I took the Kathak as my way of life, you can say, in her words, Rohitai's word. When I started going to Rohitai and started learning from her, then the completely path was completely different. And I think till today I'm learning.
So, Tai, how was the experience of learning from Rohini Tai? Like at that time, she was the person. I mean, she was, I think, one of the few dancers who were pursuing this dance form, and like you then what was the moment when you decided that yes, I'm going to make Kathak my career, my way of life? So what was that turning point?
I really don't know the turning point because that process was very slow and naturally it was within me actually, because I never felt that I am not learning from Rohinitai. Because yeah, when we started learning from Sharatai, we had yearly Guru Purnima concerts. So that was the main focus of our yearly learning, that Guru Purnima concert. So I used to perform in front of Devitai, Rohinitai, quite often, her every year. And that's why I thought ki, I'm learning from Rohinitai always. But at one point, I think I remember Rohini Tai used to observe that all the students, and she must have been means she thought that I'm promising girl. So she invited me in one of her choreography to participate in the Usha Sutta. That was, I think, turning point when I participated in Usha Sutta. Because I directly learned from Rohita that for that particular choreography. And few things I realized that dance is not just for dance, it's beyond that. And slowly I was attracted to her intellectual and very high thought process behind each and everything, and how she composes, what are her opinion about teaching and even the art form. Or I think that process matter is the other thing, because I used to learn the matter even earlier in the class. The same matter in Tintal and Chumri and Tarana and Chaturanga, everything I was learning. But I think that other than the matter, her way of looking at things or perception, that I was attracted to that. So for each and everything, she has some different opinion, and that was mainly main attraction for me. So yes, even today, sometimes I think nowadays I realize, oh, she was telling me this. Yeah, the connection is very deep, and mainly it is intellectual. And I'm really attracted to her. She was a scholar, and that's how my journey started.
um, there comes a point when you have to, like, break away from the, uh, not exactly break away, but you have to find your own path while following the Guru Shishya Parampara, and of course having that bond with your Guru. But there comes a point when you have to find your own path. So what was that? How was that phase of your life when you were, you inspired to establish Nritya Dham, and how did that phase go on?
Oh, establishing Nrityadham was very technical thing. It was not purposely made. It was very simple thing that I used to have a Guru Purnima concert on my own just to offer Rohinitai and Sharatai. So in one of the concert, there was some sponsorship issue, and then the check was there, and then there was no separate account, bank account. It was so simple. That was not my intention or plan to form Nrityadham separately. This was completely technical issue. But yes, in my learning journey, for many years, I was learning my classes on one-on-one with Rohinitai was main attraction. Even today, I remember all my classes, one-on-one classes, a special training, you can say. So at the same time, one-on-one classes were going, and at the same time, the choreographic composition means group choreography, because during that time, Rohinitai started her choreographic work. I don't know about earlier things, because I was not part of Nritya Bharati that time. But before, when I entered Nritya Bharati through Yusha Sukta, again a dance choreography. So after that, she started working on choreography nearly every year, just to present in Kathak Kendra, New Delhi. So the first was Udgar. Nowadays, nobody does that, because I don't know. It's not in the nobody is performing Udgar, but Udgar was first choreography after Usha Sukta, and so the choreographic work was also going parallelly. Then suddenly, after few years, I realized that I'm more inclined toward one-on-one classes, traditional learning, and so the time was 10 to 15 years. It's not just 1 2 years. 10 15 years. I was a major part of all her choreographies. At the same time, I was performing solo and learning, especially under her guidance. But then slowly I realized that I'm enjoying traditional dance more. it's not that I'm not enjoying group or thematic dance, but yes, my focus or inclination was toward traditional dance. So that time, I never planned anything. I just followed my passion, and then, as I said, that creativity and creating something new was very natural to me. At least trying. So for years, I learned this art form. I'm still learning this art form. And then in that process, when you feel as an artist, you want to create something very naturally. I think whenever I felt that, I did that. And that is how Nrityadham established. uh, Nrityadham born, you can say that. But Nrityadham is just a institute. Nothing. I think artists, whatever I am working on it, that is very important for me. So passion and creativity uh, was main intention or natural actually for me to go work separately from the.
So, what was your first choreography under the banner of Nrutya Dham, and what was the process of it?
So first of all, as I said, that thematic dance was not actually. Just funny part is that I was a major or leading dancer of part of Babitai's all choreographies, almost all. Only one I remember, that Udan I was not a part because I was not staying that time in Pune. But um, after that, my thesis while doing MA master's program was choreography. But still, after few years, I realized that I'm not really connected to the theme dance mainly. So I never tried theme dance till today. Choreography means all the traditional matter. I used to choreograph a lot, and it was not after Nrityadam, even in while teaching in Nritya Bharati, separately, of course, as a Ganesh Nagar Shakha branch of Nritya Bharati. I used to compose many different compositions of rhythm, tal, and even sargam, tarana, and traditional matter. But it was very common there. So theme dance, no, I don't remember. I have not worked on theme dance. Maybe in future I will work for choreography. But in Nrityadham, after Nrityadham established, I think first composition completely on my own. I did the Tal Chautal completely and one Chumri. So I presented it in front of Baby, and she was quite happy. And she said that you should go on your path because um, you have that passion for creating things and composing things, even the mathematical composition or even the musical also. So all the traditional things I'm composing even till today. One choreography I will mention, that Talamala. Talamala is not my idea. Basically, Talamala is Guru Mohan Rao Kalyanpurkarji's concept, which I learned from Rohinitai, and I perform in that many times. But I used to think about this concept is so vast and difficult that sometimes it becomes very difficult for audience to grasp. And then, yeah, it's a mathematical concept. So I always wanted to make something which is very visually attractive, as well as people will understand it very easily, and musical. Some different things I wanted to start. I wanted to choreograph in Talamala, and I did that. So today I will name that Talumala or Tal Shanyayan. Tal Shanyayan is also my different concept. It's actually, this Tal was created to dedicated to planet Saturn. So a different story. It's, so I will not mention everything here, but Tal Shandayan 7.5 beats. That choreography also very. I think it's good because people liked it.
Uh, do you happen to have a small video of that which we can
Yes,
maybe?
yes, of course. Yeah, we will. I can show you video clips of Talamala as well as Sal Shanyan also.
Okay.
Definitely, I'll be sending it to you.
So, Dai, what is your process of choreographing any traditional piece? Like, first, you think about the kavya, or like the literature part, or the music, or sometimes it happens simultaneously. So, what comes to your mind, and how do you go about it?
Suppose this is a music, for example, any tarana or a chaturanga. So I keep listening to that music for many times because that music sometimes tells you some shades or moods. So I want to really connect with that moods or even the rhythm flow. So naturally, I listen to the music or rhythm for many times and then start dancing on it, whatever I feel. And slowly then you start compiling all the things that with the music, with rhythm, with dance, and then you add some things in that. So it's very long process for me. I work for many days. I work on any theme, whether it is abhinaya or rhythm. Also, I work for many months, and then one day only 5 or 10 minutes or half an hour composition is ready. But I do believe in studying things. Give your time, your own. Till that time, you're not satisfied with your work, you should give time. So I really give many months, or sometimes for Talamala, I've given years.
Like for this today's generation, they want everything very instantly. They listen to a piece, they choreograph it, and it's on Facebook or on social media.
Oh, that's
So yes, that is also I think a very creative process for them, but of course giving it its own time to nourish and everything, it definitely makes a lot of difference.
yeah, I do respect that creativity, but sometimes you may feel change is a creativity. Changing some things, you need change all the time. So we are not because of in the social internet medium, we need a constant change. So sometimes you may feel that change is creativity. So but I am old type. So I do believe in working for many months and then you really feel, then you can go for creativity. Otherwise, I'm fine with traditional practicing and working in that. So creating things is not compulsory for me. It should come naturally.
So, like, it is very important that every dancer should have a knowledge of all the allied arts. Like, not maybe she might not be practicing it very often, but she should have a knowledge. She should have the knowledge of music, of literature, everything. So, do you think it is important for this generation to get into this kind of allied arts, gaining knowledge from that?
Yes, of course. Yeah, dance is a Sankirna Kala, we say. So for dance, you need everything. You need music, you need knowledge of rhythm, literature, all things. Even you should know a little bit of tabla, then pakhwaj, and even all other instruments. So yes, I think first we should, students should work on classical music first, vocal. They should have some knowledge about swara, and rhythm is always there, but swara is important because it adds bhav, rasa in your rhythm or dance, pure dance. So I think yes, all other things are very important, and whenever it is possible, they should try to study all the aspects of music.
Um, in addition to this, I would like to ask that how important it is for a student to learn compositions of different gharanas, just for the purpose of knowledge.
I think in Guru Shishya tradition, it was always with the Guru. Guru used to explain the aesthetics of that Gharana. So I don't think it's students need to go and all the way and search for other Gharanas because Guru gives you all that nazariya. how to look at compositions. So it's a part of Guru Shishya tradition. Because what happens is, for other Gharana, if students try to just compose, dance on that compositions, sometimes Gharana, aesthetics of that Gharana, they may miss in movements or. But Guru should be always there to guide them how to look at things. I think it's a part of Guru Shishya tradition.
But sometimes it happens that you know teachers nowadays, they don't, now I can't say nowadays, but sometimes they feel that first you learn what we have, and then you can go and explore,
First, you learn from.
learn what our gharana has to offer, what,
Correct, correct. Yes.
and then you can go and explore on your own.
Yeah. So a simple one thing, because Rohini Tai herself said once that, oh no, this particular composition is not like this. The Hastak is not like this is a typical Jaipur Gharana composition, and that Hastak she should know how to uh, perform Hastaks on it. So I think if any student want to learn some different compositions from different gharana, she should go to that particular gharana's guru and then ask how will I treat this composition and any particular hastakas are there, and spend some time with them, because it's not just you observe and catch it. Actually, it should be in sanskar, otherwise it will look like a copy paste. And the beauty and the aesthetics, you will have to spend some time with that particular gharana or guru, learn it, and then people are ready to teach you. Then I think this is a best procedure. That I can understand students wants nowadays, because of all this social media, it's very easy to get compositions, and you really get to watch many concerts very easily. So it's good that somebody wants to learn, but go in a proper way. That go to that guru and then spend some time and learn typical hastakas like
Like right now we are facing a major setback. The art industry is facing a major setback due to COVID-19. But uh, still there we can see a lot of dancers who are, you know, creating creating new things. But sometimes we feel that some there is a lack of quality. So what I want to ask you is that, like, don't these dancers have a responsibility to at least show this work to some, rather, like, the ideal person is to go to their guru and show them first that, is this is this applicable, is this okay, is this correct, should I upload it? But sometimes we feel that there is a lack of quality. So why do you think that is happening?
why is very difficult for me to answer why. But see, technology has changed everything. It has changed in a very good way. Right now we are talking to each other on because of technology. So it's a, in a way it is very good, and in a way it is not bad, but different different direction. It is going in different direction. So you can have very good music tracks now, huh, which are very attractive. You can have very good different type of matter. So recordings are available, lights, sounds, and everything so high quality that whatever simple thing is very attractive. It can look like as an art piece. So that's why I say that sometimes change, you might feel that it is creativity. Going deep in or each and every aspects of music, it takes time. And then if there is a depth, then you don't need it. Is if it is a very good quality track and everything is sound and light and everything is best, it's good. But if it's not there and the substance is rich, deep, then you don't need all these things. So I think young generation or students should focus on going um, deep in all aspects of music. Then they might not think about going here and there or creating things daily. I am not against creativity. I am just saying that sometimes you may feel that I'm changing something. That means I'm creating something. So that we'll have to understand, what do you mean by creativity? Are we creating in music? Are we changing some? Are we creating some raga? Or are we creating some tal? Or the same dhatakatunga is there. Instead of here dhatakatunga, I am giving here. This is a creativity that we'll have to little bit understand. And secondly, I look at all Indian classical music always spiritually. So when lockdown happened, this pandemic situation was there. For me, for years, I am only dancing. I know only dance. I don't know any other thing. So it was very hard for me as well. I like you. But I think that time is telling me to just keep quiet. And the time is telling me to keep quiet and study. Everything will be fine. So I started studying. And I really enjoyed it. So there are so many concepts, new concept I have, and everything is ready actually. But there are no concerts and no stage, and nothing is there. That's why we are waiting. But I'm enjoying that process because even students are not in front of me to compose something. So I started composing on my own. I don't think my passion, my dance, is dependent on the studio or the whether I have a stage or not, whether I have a concert or not, whether I have all my master group ready here to create something or not. Students are sometimes here, sometimes they are not there. My dance is my dance. My passion is with me. So I am very happy. I don't think I have missed anything in these 6, 7, 8 months. Actually, I feel that I've upgraded myself.
So any special message or any tips, any guidance that you want to give our generation? How should we look at dance, look at life, look at this situation, the current situation, how to come out of it?
Yes, sure. Actually, Neha, I have many things which I really want to share with your generation, but there is no any opportunity that all different students come together and then I'll talk to them. But my message is that dance, what it looks outside, it's much more inside. Just try to experience that. And yes, as I said in lockdown, I think work more and each and every aspect. And for me, even today, it's a rule that you will have to work for few months and then present 1, 5, 10 minutes composition, or you can say half an hour composition. So study, you work more and present less. Work, riyaz more and present less. So even the riyaz is a beautiful thing. You can use it in this time, especially for riyaz or working more. And for students, yes, riyaz is important. The focus should be on your dance rather than how will I present it in front of on the social media or in front of audience. Try to enjoy inner process more. Especially this will be very useful in this period pandemic, so that you will be ready after 1 year or 2 years, you're ready to perform on stage. This is a simple, very not message I will say, but just my thoughts I would like to share with young generation.
Thank you, Dai. It has been really wonderful talking to you and very inspiring. And I hope we meet soon personally and get to know more about the process that you actually go through when you're composing in a lot of detail actually. So I'm hoping for that day to come soon. So thank you very much.